going to be a general guided reading for December 12th, 2019, during the full moon in Gemini, which is happening right now as I record. It is exactly in 2 minutes at its fullest. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Now let's get started. I'm just tuning in right now. Getting calibrated, if you will. What I see here is that several strands of information are heading toward a peak or nexus or singular point. You see, if all of these different lines are crossing and intersecting right here, that's the moment that we're at. That's the moment that we're heading toward. Right here. All of these continuums touching in this one space and then continuing on refracting like a prism. You know, sunlight through, So it's all of this light channeled and directed here. And then inverted, refracted, mirrored out. And I wonder what that could be for us in our world, in our own personal journeys. I would feel more comfortable talking about. But as you know, we all have a role to play, and each of our threads coming together into this moment in time, this singularity, I think is a scientific term. It might be outdated by about 20 years. So please, if you know what I'm talking about, comment and let me know. I would love to hear more about it. Once again, this is a general guided message for December the 12th, 2019. Currently, where I'm located, it is December the 11th, but as you know, energy around full moons kind of continues ahead and behind the actual moment, and this is the actual moment right here that we're sitting in. So that's really interesting and lovely that we get to be here together. Now, let's see. Forgive me, sometimes when I channel, my nose itches. I've heard other readers say this as well. The Fool. I've already cleared the energy, set intentions for the space, and meditated on what we're going to be doing together here. General guided message, please, for anyone who feels guided to be here. Thank you. I hope that we'll get to know each other soon. Four of Swords. Mental energy put at rest. Gratefulness, being thankful. Prayer, contemplation, stillness. The body being still while the mind continues on, out. It's making wishes as well in this instance. It's maybe it's manifesting. So imagining what it is that you want for your life and creating an image of that. And propelling it forward. This is a very, very sensitive time, I think. And so make sure that you're watching your thoughts, that you're directing them toward what it is that you truly want. Take the time to reflect. It is that time of year where things become more still and rest, but there's always something going on beneath the surface. So I think the message is to be careful with your thoughts because you could be very powerful at this time. The moon. Full moon. I'm not surprised at all to see this. As well as that subtle warning about power. And here I'm noticing in particular this scorpion-like creature in the water and thinking about Pluto in particular, because I'm sure, as many of you know, there is an upcoming Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January, and I'll get into that another time. However, I think that it's building up now, and as well, I think this full moon exists at the same time as a conjunction between Venus, Pluto, and Saturn together. Venus-Pluto touching can be very dangerous as well as extremely passionate. And that's what I'm getting from this card. Look at this wolf dog. Lunacy, howling, something primal. Something primal. And look at the face of the moon. She's contemplating. She's being very delicate about this. It almost looks as if she's praying. Watching over. There may be a lot of intensity in the world right now, wherever you are. Passionate intensity. And that's not to say negative or positive, but intense. Very intense energy here. The Fool. And the High Priestess. I want to put these cards in that I pulled earlier and get a little bit more information. And while I shuffle, I want to think about what it is this fool's jumping into. A calculated risk, perhaps? Something that came from inner knowing, meditation, contemplation, but it's a little wild, it's a little risky. The 0 hour, 0 starting over, 12:12, 6. It's like a cosmic reset button, I think, that we're all getting. And I think the point here is that if we have this chance, what is it that you're going to do? Now, I'm tapping into something. Someone is worried about love, as so many of us are, and they want me to talk about it. More so than this more general example. And they're kind of like nervous if I will talk about it or not. I can do that. That's so funny. They feels like they're eager to know what my thoughts are on this. Like they're resonating in some way. Maybe you're resonating in some way. And I said something that for you was a trigger or a sign, right? Because when we tune into readings or channel messages, sometimes we choose to watch someone if they have a tell, if there's something that they do in the reading that like clicks for us, and then we know it's for us. I think that happened for somebody, and maybe it doesn't always. And so they are very, very curious about the unique perspective on love that might come through in this moment. I would love to find out. I think that's what feels most right. I'm hearing a song, hold on. It's from the 80s, but I can't get it right now. Even if I did, I would not sing it to you. I'll spare you. There's a moving part here, a variable that we can't account for. So even in tapping into energy, tapping into potential timelines and outcomes, there's this moving part, if you will, of which we have no control. And I think that's free will. I think that's Spirit's way of saying, remember that we all have free will, and that cannot be predicted in any direction of time. So I'm noticing 1, 2, 3, 4, stars in this card. There is some sort of divine guidance here. I'm finding myself caught up in the nuance of whether we would consider this having 7 stars or 8. And I think I'm supposed to move on. So. So, do we want to tap in to love energies for the full moon in Gemini, December 11th or 12th, 2019. I just had this moment where I saw this card, the Knight of Pentacles, and I thought, what do I say about this? You know, an offer is coming, it's moving slowly, something you've been working on, and it felt so trite. It felt like, am I really gonna repeat all of these things that everyone has already heard a million times about this card? Am I really gonna do that? Can anything that I'm doing be any different? Meaningful? Should I even bother? And I think that's the point. I think that's the point, that my hesitation to use the same language that so many of us have already heard, this is how someone's feeling. They feel like, what do I have to offer that's different? What can be said that someone else hasn't already said? I've worked so hard on this, but I don't know where to go. I don't know where to take this. I'm getting distinctly that this can either be love or this could be like a love, an artistic career, a project, a business plan even. We'll get into that in a bit, but this is something that you love, that you've put work into. And you're thinking of how to move it forward. With care and consideration, he's holding this with such a gentle touch, you know? He's being quite delicate with it. He wants to make sure that it grows and that it stays safe and it reaches its destination intact. I'm a little paranoid, so I'm going to make sure that this is still recording. It is. Sorry. I'm noticing now too that this channeled little drawing that I did in the beginning here, it's this circle, right? The full moon, the apogee, the singularity, this specific point. And I think that's where he is at. All of the work behind him and before him is condensed into this single moment. And he's holding it and deciding where to go next. Because in this moment is what will determine the movement of these parts forward in time. So I think that was a combined message here with the Four of Swords, asking us to really carefully consider what we're doing and where we're going to invest. It's also saying this. The time is now to take the chance, because if you fall, you will land here. This is a time for miracles. I've never said anything like that. It's not me. This is a time for miracles. Miracles in manifestation and divine guidance. I keep seeing her. And in this card in particular, I'm always drawn to her hands. She knows something. She knows something and she will not speak. It feels like it's the veil, the book is being pried open just a bit so we can see enough light peeking out to believe. But then she shuts it and the dust comes out. It's like just enough of a little peek to keep you going. To know like, yeah, fuck yes, this is the right path. She will reveal her secret for a singular moment. I'm feeling a throat chakra activation right now. And that makes sense with the full moon being in Gemini, of course, propelling us to use our voice to communicate. And what's interesting about this energy is we think of Gemini as being about mental vastness, differentials, lots of scattered energy because they find joy in so many things. But this is asking, as they do, to bring it down and communicate it out to the world. So, say for example, if you do a lot of research or work on many projects or ideas at the same time, that's fantastic. It's just asking you to bring it down to earth and share it. That's what it's asking. Synthesize and bring down and express whatever it is that you do in your own life. Yeah, okay, I'll do love. I'll do love. I'll do the love. All right, so what about that? Spirit says you're boring them. I hope that's not true. That I want to listen to it, but do they? I'm not feeling this. Give me a moment. Alright. I'm gonna move this up. I'll try to take a photo of this afterwards. Thank you again for being here. Let's see what the fuck we get. Love. I'm gonna go with the Gemini full moon. see something about cycles. Like a quick switch, one in, one out. I'll show you what I drew. It's like a recycle symbol almost. Earlier today I made up a word, I think. It was cycle, as in psychic cycle. Say that a bunch of times. This is it. This is the cycle. It reminds me of, I don't know, reminds me of the symbol for Pisces with the two fish, right? I don't know why that's relevant. I haven't looked into the astrology that much. I like to kind of bring the energy down and say whatever it is that comes out because I channel messages and I admire and respect all of the hard work that so many people put into the writings around these times. But I like to read and watch afterwards, kind of like films. I don't read reviews until I've seen the film. Anyway, maybe that's relevant for someone. Gemini full moon love. I heard, we want to talk about the collective. I have like competing energy happening right now, and that's why I seem a little flustered, I might call it. It's like one message is about planetary change and growth. And then the other is more geared toward the on the ground human side of things, about our projects and desires. And I think the combination of the two is what's really important, because it's hard to live up here all the time when we exist down here, right? So I think often we look for that guidance because it's more difficult than understanding the big picture. In some ways, the big picture is easier to understand than the minutia of our everyday lives. And I respect that. The being human part. I mean, after all, here we are in these meat suits. So I feel really hesitant to talk about love for some reason. It's like I don't want to fuck it up, which I've never really felt before. It's that same energy as this guy. It's like I would rather not say it than say it wrong. And even now I feel like my words are held back. I'm not fully expressing myself, and that's really weird because that's not something I particularly have trouble with when I'm reading. That's the thing again though, right? It's easier sometimes to see the big picture than it is to be here on the ground as a human in a meat suit with our desires and money and everyday life. I don't mean desires as money, I mean desires as well as the currency that we must have to exist on this planet, which is really weird if you think about it. We have to pay rent to exist. They didn't really think that one through, did they? Planetary change. So it's kind of like, it feels like love isn't in the 3D isn't important. The group that I'm channeling right now, at least, it's that's what they feel. It's more about universal consciousness. And I'm trying to explain that that's great. And if we're here and we're watching these kinds of videos, we are thinking about that. And I think that what's more difficult for us is everyday life. The Fool again. We have the Fool twice. It's like a road movie. It's like me and Bobby McGee. It's like packing up Neil Young in your pickup and driving to LA. It's, hey man, do you want to come too? I was thinking of getting out of here. Do you want to come? Fuck it. And it's, the important thing here is it's without expectation. It's that kind of energy, but if they say no, it's cool. It's like, okay, great, well, I'm going to continue on. Nice seeing you. There's something about releasing expectation. Oh my gosh, that took a lot to get there. And as soon as I said it, I immediately felt better. It's about releasing expectation, the Fool. I've never gotten that for this card before. Releasing expectation. I'm hearing me and Bobby McGee again, the Janis Joplin version, obviously. You might want to listen to it. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. I'm not necessarily implying that you should sell all of your belongings, and if you have a sizable amount of belongings and leave, but I think it's about the heart space and communicating, like I said, without expectation. Like you're not asking because you want something out of it. You're asking from genuine joy and expression and connection, genuine connection. We're connecting in a more genuine way. That's what it was. We're connecting in a more genuine way. That's what it is. I'm feeling a little self-conscious because of the length of this video. However, it takes me a while to get into it. Watch it faster or something, you know. I feel like it helps if I just admit that instead of rushing myself along. That was Judgment. Not feeling it, but it's my favorite card. Not feeling that either. What are these interferences here? This old energy trying to snap back in. The Nine of Swords. We're not in that shit anymore. Girl, didn't you hear? Genuine connection. Expression, love. Saying fuck it. Fuck it, do it live. done with this type of energy. I think it's like shaking out the loose bits here. It's like we're at the final moments, and this is what it is. We're at this point. And so all of this old shit is gonna come in and throw us off. It's coming in to fuck with us. And that's just energy. That's just the energy of it. Like these swords flying through the air, you know? It's not personal. It's not good or bad. It just is. It's the energy. And I think the way that they're moving will help direct us in our direction forward. So just let the swords fucking fly. Alright? Let the swords fucking fly. Let the chips fall where they may. Shake out loose energies. It ain't no thing. These could be old thoughts, self-defeating thoughts, self-fulfilling prophecies, self-defeating. I'll never find love. I'm meant to be alone. I have to be perfect before I can experience pleasure and joy and connection. It's not true. But just know these swords might be coming at you, trying to stab you in the heart, and you don't need to listen. You can use this Gemini energy to notice things going on around you, to notice these thoughts going through your head, to notice the chaos, and be still in the middle of it. That's what I'm seeing right now, is an individual standing in this vast void, and they're looking out into infinity, into the emptiness, and all of this energy, this sharp sword-like energy is flying around them, and they're just standing still, kind of Jedi-like, letting it exist. It's just noticing what is, but knowing that you don't need to act on it. You don't need to move. You don't need to duck, although you might, you know. That was a close one. Yeah. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's see what energy this full moon is bringing in for love, for whoever it is that I'm connecting with now. Look at all of the blue. Look at all of the blue. You know how she gets here? Being open with her love. Perhaps she openly communicated her love, or just is. You know, it doesn't have to be verbal communication. It can just be communication in your body, in your being, in your soul, communicating to other souls, to energy, to source, of embodying love, of embodying truth. That's how she gets here, in this receptive place, in this content, kind of bashful energy. She looks a little nervous, though, as well. she's like, shit, is it gonna happen? Like, is it gonna happen? Are you sure it's gonna fucking happen? I don't know. I can try to be receptive, but sharp inhale kind of deal. What is this full moon Gemini bringing in for love, please? She just does not want to go away. It is written. It is written behind the veil, in the scroll, under the cracks. It is written, and there's something very holy about this. I'm noticing the string of pearls along her dress. Pearls, I believe, are symbols of purity and growth. Oh my gosh. As well as, if we think about how they're created, right? They're this like anomaly, this irritation, this pain that the oyster experiences from a grain of sand, and a pearl is what is a product of that pain. And look how many she has. She's wearing this shit on her sleeve. She's wearing her heart on her sleeve. She says, I have been broken, I have been hurt, but I stand here open to you. I'm not ashamed. I'm not hiding my scars, my flaws, my hurts. But I'm not living in them either. They become these beautiful adornments for me. And they're a kind of a beacon signaling toward whoever is coming for her to say, that's who I am. And they'll recognize you by this. They'll recognize you by your scars and the way that you've transformed into her now. Proud, humble, secure, loving. The High Priestess knows some shit. We'll find out what's up. You don't fuck with her though. You respect that some things are not meant to be known, and I know that. So we're not prying, we're just simply finding more out about this situation. The Queen of Cups and the Fool. Tell me what the High Priestess knows that she's willing and able to reveal in the highest and greatest good of all in all directions of time. The Hierophant, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Holy shit. Oh my god, I just saw it. There is symmetry. There's a mirror here. Oh my god. There's this point, and there's its direct opposite. There's this point where everything switches. You're the direct mirror of each other. These two people are direct mirrors. I'll try to show you what I see. This is very, very high vibrational. I don't know who I'm reading for right now, but if I am, you are high up there. You have done the work, and so has this other person. Maybe your backgrounds are different, but you both went through something. So you arrive at your respective positions of authority through those trials and tribulations, but they're different journeys you were on. It's baptism by fire. You've both arrived. You've arrived. Holy shit. Okay, and then continuing the mirror. So there's this center point. There's the High Priestess, the Hierophant. There's the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. There's the Fool and the Chariot. Oh my gosh. So while these two queens are sitting with their backs to one another, their higher selves are already together. That's fucking weird. And bringing them closer. And I want to clarify that their backs are not away from each other in anger or defiance or anything like that. It's just they're looking over their respective kingdoms. They are doing their own fucking thing. It's not at all out of spite. They're both taking a rest and looking down, back upon what they've done. They're reflecting on their own journey and where they sit. They're at the top of the mountain and they're sitting there thinking about where they've been. They're both doing this. At the same time, you are mirroring each other. The Fool and the Chariot. You can't make this shit up. Both of these are about moving forward. Both of these are divine and blessed directions. The Chariot in particular is divine and blessed. The Fool, who knows where they'll land. But I think together, you see what I'm saying here. Remember earlier when I said, if you take this leap, this is where you'll land. This is a moment in time where you are blessed and protected, whatever this is. And I think in this case, these cards, this part of the reading, this is about your project, your love, your passion, your desire, your business plan. So I'm not necessarily saying or getting here that this is about love. This is a leap of faith towards what it is you desire for yourself spiritually, whatever is bigger than you. Go for it now. Go for it, because if you fall, you will land among the stars. This just happens to be very similar. So our life and spirituality reading is mirroring the love reading, and that is perfect considering this mirror we have going on here. There's no mistakes or accidents at all, folks. So it's that within yourself and without, there are two mirrors. It's like a hologram. It is a hologram. I mean, that we're living in, right? It's like, I just saw a rotoscope. Is that the device that you spin and you can see through the slits of this spinning wheel, and you get glimpses of an image, but once it's moving, the mind fools itself into thinking that it's seeing the horse move. It's like time on a continuum and having access to small pieces of where things are moving backwards and forwards and outwards. And putting it all together. It's really specific. I'm noticing in this Chariot card that on his armor he has something that appears to be the sun or a sunflower. And I just wanted to mention that because it makes me think that it's bringing in the sun, greater happiness and bliss. And this person is working really hard towards that. They have that in their heart, in their heart space, right? He's wearing green, the heart chakra. He's holding this in his heart and he's working to move it forward. This queen here. Oh my gosh. I just noticed something. Do you see here how this queen, her headdress, her veil, the fabric part, it has tiny, what looks like pearls on it. This is how they will recognize each other. When they're being themselves proudly. Humility and grace. They both just look so content. And they both kind of look like, yeah, I know what's coming. I know something. I know it's on its way. It's already here. It's arriving. You know why? Because you both took this leap and moved things forward. So together, it's a perfect image. It's a perfect image. I wonder what the leap was. When I said that, I was directed to the other Fool card that's sitting above it, in which I was talking about creative projects, desires, passions. It could be that the leap of faith was regarding a project, a love. That leap of faith is what moves love forward. I don't know how or why. Well, I do. When we take the chance, the divine sees this and knows that we're ready for something bigger and better in our lives. And it sees that if we can do this with what we love, we deserve it in our life, in all ways. we deserve it with another. Because we showed faith. We knew that if we fell, this is where we would land. We went for it and we're being rewarded. That's what it is. We went for it and we're being rewarded.